All right. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, or whatever time it is when you're watching this. It is your host with the most, Dio Raza, and we are back for another Minecraft stream. We are Bad Gamer in the chat. Got no ads, by the way. Hey, man, I'm not making any money off Twitch. I think we've already established that, haven't we? How's the audio and the music? Or shout out to Lo-Fi Cat with the Pika Brew Lo-Fi Jazz. If anybody want to know what each music is. Everything good? Alright, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, Twitch not going to pay me, and that's alright. You're going to have some fun playing all Minecraft, have some engaging conversation. And isn't that really what this is all about? Having fun on the game and having some engaging conversation. Here we go. How about that X-Men cast, huh? Oh yeah. We get Indy Navarrete as Rogue. We get Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. Who else did we get? I don't know any. I saw the other cast members, but I'm just not familiar with any of their work. Alright, this was going to be the other room here, right? It's been a while, bro. I almost forgot what we was doing. Rogue was interesting. Figured Mystique. I mean, she is Latina, right? Is Rogue Latina? Is Rogue Latina or is she? No, she was Southern, right? She was Caucasian, John. Like, yeah, she was Southern, yeah. I mean, let's be real. Indy Navarrete white passing. I don't think we go and see anybody up in arms about her getting the role. I don't think she have enough melanin in the skin for anybody to be upset. And Grant, was it Mystique? I mean, she has blue skin, so it ultimately shouldn't matter. But Mystique is what? She's like from Romania, right? She's Romanian. Although do Romanians have melanin? The Romanians have melanin on them. I think maybe they might have a little something going on. I'm interested to see, and I don't know if this is like a dickhead take, but Rogue and Gambit, right, supposed to have a little romance going on. I don't know, am I crazy, or because they're bringing back it was Channing Tatum who played Gambit in Wolverine and Deadpool, right? I don't know if I could see Channing Tatum and Indy Navarrete as a couple, bro. Am I tripping, or that shit just don't look right to me somehow? I don't know if I could see it. So I'm glad we didn't get Cynthia Erivo as Storm. I mean, here's the thing. They could slap a wig on her, no? Because I haven't really seen her in anything, but I haven't seen any criticisms of her as a bad actress. So she might have been able to do the role. She might have been able to perform. I doubt Channing staying will kill him off in D-Day, probably. Maybe. But so that they think they'll be abandoning the Rogue Gambit love plot in the cinematic universe. Because I feel like that's a favorite for people. I think people love Rogue and Gambit as a couple. Damn, it had monsters already, bitch. Damn. The deal, hey, bro. That nigga shooter too, hold on. Introduce a new Gambit, most likely. But, I mean, that would be so weird, though, to have to bring Gambit in and then immediately recast him. You don't think that'd be a little odd for like a continuous cinematic universe? That might be an odd decision to make. I don't know. Multiverse? I guess it could be multiverse shenanigans, yeah. Could be multiverse shenanigans. So, I mean, okay, by that metric, do you think they'll keep, like, anybody else from the, that are bringing in? Or do you think some other, like, newer face? Because I feel like they wouldn't bring new faces in and then get them the axe. You think it's just, Tatum go and get chopped? That's tough. You always have Magic Mike to fall back on, right? Oh, I have a pork chop in here, huh? I didn't even know. It really has been a minute since I've played this game. I forgot like everything I was doing now. I'm gonna put some stuff away. Clear my inventory. I'll put everything away and then take back out what I feel like I need. Okay, no, I'll definitely need the torches because I want to start doing some mining today, for sure. I'll take some cobblestone with me just because I'll put that away. I wonder if I might have to, you know, build my way out of a hole. I should probably make a new pickaxe, I guess. Because this one basically done for. Magic Mike and step up 25. All the old men gonna die. That, you know what the thing is? This is something I've always wondered with the X-Men, right? How long can they keep Magneto's backstory of being a Holocaust survivor? Whoa! That shit scared the fuck out of me. I know the friendly during the day, but still, that shit fat me fucked up, bro. You fuck out there, little nigga. You're not dumb shit with you. Yeah, how long can they keep Magneto's backstory as a Holocaust survivor going and keep it in modern time? How long is that nigga going to live for? I mean, I know he's our mega level mutant and all that, but at some point, they're going and had to let go of Magneto, right? If they want to keep things set in the present year. Just say his magnetism slowed down his aging, his Holocaust is integral. It is integral, but I mean, again, how long can they keep it going for? I mean, again, you know what I mean? Here's what it needs to do. Here's what it need to do. They need to make the new Magneto, they need to make that nigga black, and then have his backstory be slavery, nigga. Make that nigga black and have the backstory be slavery, nigga. Ooh, people go and be on fat, bro. Niggas go and catch a aneurysm with that one. What we think about that, chat? Make that nigga black and the backstory be slavery. Unless you want to say he's a Palestine survivor, but Jews in Hollywood won't like that. We went on the same path. We just went with two different eras of suffering. I'd hate that. Not racist though. But why would you hate it and not hate him being a Palestine survivor? Isn't that like, you know, kind of, what the fuck is that, drone? Isn't that kind of the same thing? You're changing the ethnicity, you're changing the backstory to a different like type of oppression. Why would you prefer the Palestinian to the slavery? Damn, I fell. I'd also hate him being a Palestine survivor, but it's more recent. I feel like the issue with the Palestine thing is... Here's why I think the Palestine thing won't work. Is because it happening currently. The whole thing about the Holocaust thing is he can't change that, right? He can't go back in time to change that. However, he can prevent a similar thing from happening again, but with mutants, which I feel like is the relevant of that. So it can't be something that happening currently. I mean, obviously I know they won't do that, and quite frankly, I don't think they should. But I feel like slavery would be the modern day slavery in America. When I say modern day, you know what I mean? That would be the closest thing to recreating the backstory from scratch. Unless you wanna have that nigga just be old as fuck. You know what I mean? Because even with the magnetism slowing down, he aging, it gets to a point where it going to be ridiculous. Let's be real. You're going to have to do something about that. You know what I mean? Now, what they'll do, I can't say. But something going to have to be done. You could always retire the character as well. Xavier's actor is 40. Also an interesting choice. Yeah, no, but this is why I'm saying they have to retire. They have to retire these characters. Which I think, alright, because I get it, right? These iconic characters, people love them. But I guess that is the issue with dating your characters in that way. You know? Because Spider-Man, you can have Spider-Man be in modern times all the time, right? Because he don't have a backstory tied to any historical event or whatever. Does it just make them old, not Stewart and McKellen old? But I would argue that they should have stick with Stewart and McKellen, because the fact that they also, it makes sense to have, as time goes on, to have the actors also be older, because if it's set in modern times, then they should be old as dirt. You know what I mean? I think they had to retire. They have to start retiring those characters whenever it's modern day. Or have the presence be with them having been like an inspiration to the younger generation. You know what I mean? Just find people, just have a mutant who was heavily inspired by Magneto and his philosophy. And then you have the X-Men, whoever, Cyclops, whoever you want to carry the torch for Professor X. That is the only way to keep this shit going, I think. Because really, I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think it getting to a point where they're overdoing it now. That's just my 2 cents. Have the movie start off with them being dead. Yeah. Just establish a run where they're no longer there anymore. That is the only thing they could do. And to be fair, because if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be based off these civil rights activists, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, right? Them dead, right? But the whole point of their movement was to set the stage for it, to, you know, make it so that the future generations could carry the torch, to give them a chance to fight. Problem is the cast is too young. Okay, so for this movie, I think they already have it set up, right? Run the movie, sure. But I just mean in the future, if they want to keep using those characters, they're going and they have to make a change. I think in the future, for future iterations, they have to go ahead and start the storylines with them dead. Do a flashback, do something where, you know, we get to know them, get to know the principles, the philosophies and everything, but we have to let go. And it's sad because, don't make no mistake, I love Professor X, I love Magneto, you know. We have to let them go. At a certain point, we'll start doing a disservice to the storyline by like trying to weasel them in to shit, you know what I mean, going forward. Even Xavier's actor don't look. I think, but here's the it's saying Sadie Sink looks 24, looking 16. I think they're trying to recreate what happened with Tom Holland, where he was so young that he was able to like grow into the character. Like, cause I think the inverse has happened a lot too. To get someone who looks the exact age of the character, maybe a little bit older, and it starts getting ridiculous. Because you know what I mean, we had. You get what I'm saying? It's all contracts. So yeah, they can't get someone who's too old because then they're going and start looking too old for the characters. I rather them look a little too young for the characters and have them like grow and look like have a like realistic aging as the movies progress, rather than get someone too old now and then it just starts looking ridiculous as time goes on. This Noir refuses to fix the UI. I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot that the UI was an issue. Also, I don't know how. If you have suggestions, I'm all ears, Deja Noodle. I'm all fucking ears if you have suggestions, my friend. Holland doing this 10 years, they want the same for them exactly, yeah. And I think it's a smarter choice. I think it's a smarter choice to have them look a little young now and age realistically with the characters. Because it just makes more sense. You know what I mean? To me, it would make way more sense. But yeah, no, they need to it's time. I think that is it for me. I think that's my thing with it. I think it's time. I think it's time for them to let go of Magneto and Xavier, nigga. It's time for the characters to pass on the torch. Which again makes perfect sense when you consider who they're based on and what they're trying to do. It makes perfect sense for them to pass the torch on to the younger generation. Marvel needs to take a break. The cinematic universe needs to take... Is that nigga on a whip? That nigga on a fucking horse, nigga. Fuck. Alright, let me sleep, nigga. I just wanted some wood. Fuck. I think the cinematic universe needs to take a break. I think Marvel, and for that fact too, for that matter, DC, I don't know if they're going for a cinematic universe again. Take it easy with the cinematic universes. Marvel win the cinematic universe. DC needs to stop trying to compete with them on that, and Marvel needs to slow down on it. I fully believe we need more like one-off fun, like one-shot movies, one-shot series. Because right now, I think the best thing Marvel have, and I'm not fully caught up on it, but the best thing Marvel have out right now, to me, is undoubtedly X-Men 97. X-Men 97 is fucking phenomenal. And you know what I mean? You don't need to watch 5 different series before you watch that one to understand. You don't need to see like 12 different movies. You don't need to watch the Loki thing to understand the multiverse. You know what I mean? You hop in, you watch some X-Men, they tell the story, and then that's it. We need more fun one-offs, if you ask me. That I think is their mistake, is still trying to do the convoluted multiverse thing. That is where they're making the mistake. Let that shit go, bro. We've had enough for now. Because I would argue too, like even with DC, I think right now have a lot of potential for fun one-offs. Like Absolute Batman, the Absolute Universe in general. People love that. Forget the cinematic universe. Let me get an Absolute Batman animated movie. Or series. We recently had the DC KO event, which I'm not caught up on, but I know the general like premise of it, right? That is, I mean, for content, that would be amazing. There is an Absolute Batman series in the works. Perfect. They need to do more of that. I think they need to do more like one-off fun stuff. What fucking drown shit. We need more one-offs. And I think is that I think there's like a symptom of a larger issue, because I think this is something, I think I talked about this before already, but it's an issue in gaming as well. The trend chasing, the trend hopping. It's alright to not be doing whatever the big thing is right now. You know what I mean? I think that's where a lot of studios, a lot of companies does make the mishap. Because I think there was a period in time where there was a lot of superhero like media out, and I think there would have been some level of fatigue for it. There's only so much you could get away. There's only so much superhero shit people could watch before we're like, alright, But everybody was chasing that trend. Everybody was chasing that thing that was popular. And it started to wear thin. I'm glad because indies can take advantage of it. Yeah. But I don't know. I think I feel like now, like every movie wanna be the next blockbuster. Every game wanna be the next Fortnite. Every game wanna be the next live service thing that take off, and you're just eating for years off. And everybody could be Fortnite. And everybody should be Fortnite. Everybody needs to be a blockbuster like Marvel. Because when you think, very rarely, I don't know, let me not say very rarely, right? But when you ask somebody their favorite film, it isn't always whatever the major blockbuster was. Sometimes it's a cool little film. Sometimes it's a calm little film that was alright. And that's all it needed to be, was alright. There's no superhero fatigue. It's that a lot of writers can't write good heroes. Look at the recent Spider-Man Miles movies. Okay, I see my, but like, Spider-Man have a built-in, Spider-Man will never not have a built-in audience. You know what I mean? Spider-Man will never not have a built-in audience. But I think there's a reason why. Because I think a lot of, like, I guess maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm like feeling the superhero fatigue. Because outside of it had Marvel, it had DC, then it had the one-offs, it had Invincible, it had The Boys, it had that show on Netflix, Supercell. It had a lot of superhero, superpower media out there. And maybe I'm speaking for myself. But it get to a point where I was like, alright, I fucking get it. Now, because people still watching it doesn't mean there's like not a certain level of fatigue to it. Because I would argue, right, if you look at the anime equivalent of that to me is isekai anime. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm sick and fucking tired of isekai anime. I'm sick and tired of I got reincarnated as a farmer shoveling a fantasy world. I'm sick and tired of, is it wrong for me to date my stepsister in an alternate universe where trucks could fly? I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of it. With any of those actual heroes or anti-heroes, etc., I'm talking about superpowers in general, though. Like the whole superhero verse. Even if there's not like exactly a superhero, right? Maybe there's a villain, maybe there's an anti-hero, whatever. I'm talking about that style of content. Isekai hentai is where it's at. Alright, this nigga hasn't said anything for about 15 minutes. He jumped back in chat to drop that gem on us. We appreciate the input, bad gamer. We really do. This nigga had to let his voice be heard. It's been 7. Okay, he was counting. My bad. I wasn't counting. My fault, bad gamer. Time leave yet? Hey, bro, stick around for the whole stream, huh? So you want something like Mario, someone with superpowers, but not a superhero. I want them to leave. I want more people to leave superpowers alone. Not everything had to be superpowers. We could leave our superpower shit alone. Let Marvel do the super. You know what I mean? We don't need more super. Haven't we had enough? I've had enough. I've had enough of seeing like that, of like seeing people chasing that trend. I want regular bums, yes. I want a regular story. What happened to regular people doing regular shit? Why does everybody have to have a power now? I get it. I love a good superpower. I understand why it's a great hook. I'm just saying not everybody needs to do it. It's like realistic graphics in video games. I think it cool. I think some games should do it, but other games benefit from having a cartoony art style. Other games benefit from having cel-shaded art styles. Not everything needs to be ultra realistic. You can see the pores on the face of the fucking characters. So you want a show about regular people on a regular sort of show doing regular thing? I would love a regular show. Someone needs to make a regular show. Are you saying that you have superhero fatigue because after Spider-Man is saying superhero fatigue not real, just good stories? I have a trend hopping fatigue. I'm not saying Marvel need to stop. I will watch Marvel, right? Right now I'm watching X-Men 97. I'm saying I want to see... let Marvel and DC do it. Let a couple indie studios do it. But when everybody want to make a show with powers, that's where I want to draw the line. I just feel like, and again, it's not just with superheroes, it's with everything. Every once in a while, the new big thing happens, and then everybody wants to do that. Stop it. That is my thing. Not everything needs to be whatever, like popping right now. Let me get a little more uniqueness going. Because, like, I get good example right now. How many extraction shooters are we seeing come out right now? Because that is what was popping. Right? Arc Raiders was... And it don't even last, bro. Remember when people were saying Arc Raiders was going to be game of the year? Where the fuck is Arc Raiders now? More shows like Obsession, Indie Vibe. Yeah. More shows where it's just something fresh. Obsession made like $500 million, yeah. And if Curry Barker was chasing the superhero trend, we would have never get Obsession. With no real budget, mind you, yeah. So I guess it would be wrong of me to say it's a superhero fatigue. Rather, I just want to see more like original stories and it do have to be superheroes. Is how I feel. As I'm glad because it gives indies a chance. Yeah, I mean everything have a positive and a negative. I'm just speaking for me as a viewer. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking for me personally as a viewer. That doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. That's just how I feel. To be fair, superhero movies give the theaters money. Yeah, but again, not everything has to be, because live service games, right? Live service games give the companies money. They give the studios money, right? But some of them is just straight flops. Not everything needs to be... Some of the best games, there's be some regular shit. There's be some new, some fresh. And they don't have money. If they don't have money, no indie movies. I think we could strike a little bit of a better balance. I don't know. And I'm not waging war on superhero movies. I just don't want to see Hollywood fall into a trap where, you know, that is all they want to do. Indies can't get sponsored by fans. I mean, in this economy, it really hard to get people to part with the... That's not true, actually. Niggas love spending the money. Never mind, I retract that statement. Niggas love spending the money. Have we seen the reports that GTA 6, the $100 edition, getting way more pre-orders than the standard? Niggas love spending the money, so you might be right. In 1015, the A-list stars will have a superhero background. Yeah. What the fuck? What? It have a fucking witch? What, is this my ex-wife, bitch? What the fuck did she hit me with? Come here. Come here. If I die... No! You fucking whore. That fucking slut. Hold on. Son of a bitch. Hold on. With my sword. With my sword. Hey, I have some for the ass, bitch. Yeah. Yeah, you wanna see some magic? You wanna see some magic, bitch? Close the fucking door, nigga. Oh, I hope that bitch still there. Where the fuck she was? Where the fuck? Hold on. Come here. Motherfucker. Yeah. I got some magic for your bitch ass. Oh, you run? She fucking run. That bitch fucking run. Where did she go? Nah, son. Where did she go? That bitch have my fucking carrots on the ground and shit. That bitch have my fucking carrots all on the floor and shit. Ooh, if I find that bitch is on site. Hold on, is she up this hill? She up this mountain? Where the fuck that bitch is? She fucking skedaddled. That bitch do a drive-by. I'm so fucking angry. I'm so fucking... No, wait, is that her? No, that's that drone, nigga. I almost spin the block on a random mob, nigga. I'm so fucking bad, bro. Why did she do me like that, yo? Bro, what the fuck does she think she is? I'm not going back for the carrots. I was blinded by revenge, nigga. I was blinded by revenge of wanting to kill that witch. Hold on. Where did my carrots go? Hold on. Get my carrots back. Oh, she really fucking clapped me up, bro. That's crazy. Witch fatigue. Fuck you, nigga. I think I say witch fatigue. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. That old dickhead for that. I don't put my hold on, I'll put my sword back, bro. I don't need it just yet. Should I make some copper armor? You know what I need? I need a good mining spot. That is what the goal is for today. I want to find a good mining spot and start, you know, start splunking. There's a big, like, open cave somewhere over here. Hold on. I want to see if it actually goes somewhere, if it's just a hole in the wall. Yeah, hold on. I wanna find out. Hold on. Why could somebody, if someone's free, could they find that article I'm talking about where they show that GTA 6 the pre-orders for the $100 edition is way above the regular? If you don't mind, I'm posted in the Discord. It's just a hole in the wall. Watch back. That's somewhere. I want to find somewhere nearby too, you know what I mean? And I don't want to dig too far underneath my own house to cause mobs to spawn. See what this is. Might be a good one. Looks like it's deep enough. Also, alert for anybody who may be interested. Bro, the Kingdom Hearts series is on an insane sale right now. On Steam. Insane sale for Kingdom Hearts, bro. If you're interested in Kingdom Hearts, insane fucking sale. I think it's like $30 for all the games right now. When is the new Kingdom Hearts supposed to drop? Maybe that is why it's on sale. Maybe they're trying to drum up some PR for the new game. you be a good cave? Doesn't really go anywhere. But now some good coal in here. Get some of that. Now, what else is happening? What else is going on, bro? Have any news stories that I missed? I wasn't here for a whole week, so I'm sure it must have some. Oh yeah, the GTA 6 thing. The fact that they're releasing preview for GTA 6 on Netflix like 6 hours early before anybody else. What we think about that, chat? I don't know. Here's the thing, right? Objective, like, okay. Practically speaking, it's not really a big deal. Because I'm sure the moment it goes live on Netflix, you're going to have someone standing there recording the screen with the phone and immediately posting it to Twitter, right? We all know that's what's going to happen. But the principle of it has me a bit worried. Because when you think about it, when you really think, here's how fucked up this is, right? Oh, we have Floofy Leah in chat. What's up, Floofy? Yeah. It fucked up because they're basically putting our ad behind a paywall. When you think about it that way, we are top tier levels of capitalism. They're making you pay for an advertisement. Usually, you just have to pay to not see an advertisement. You know what I mean? Normally, you just pay so you don't have to watch ads. They're literally putting an ad behind a fucking paywall. I don't know if we could reach higher levels of capitalism than that. That is fucking psychotic. You know what I mean? I don't know. I definitely do not like these sounds, right? I feel like it's again, somebody go and leak it. I think it's out right now. I'm sure it leaked as soon as it came out on Twitter. But when you think about what they're doing, it fucking... And people go in and defend that shit to the death of them, bro. Them GTA dick riders. Go and defend that. Oh, you don't have Netflix. Like how everybody had Netflix. You know what I mean? They go and defend that shit to the death of them, but it's a really insane business practice. To make you... They're making you pay to watch an ad. Do you understand? Do you understand how insane that is that they're making you pay to watch an ad? I don't know. I don't know, the fact that niggas not boycotting GTA 6 hurting my heart right now. It's not surprising by any measure, but it hurting my heart all the same. So I paused my 7-hour video of Greek mythology to be here. Yeah, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love, baby. But yeah, I cannot think... If this is not late stage capitalism, I don't know what is. I genuinely cannot think of anything more capitalistic than making the consumer pay to watch an advertisement for a product. If anybody has a more severe example, I'm all ears, but I cannot think of one. That shit genuinely spooky, bro. Also, I don't know if it's because I was talking about it the last time I streamed if my phone heard, man. Was it last time? Like talking about people who think there's the fucking sheriff. I've been getting so many videos of people walking around acting like if they run shit, bro. Regular civilians, not the police, not like a fucking, even security guards who really don't run shit either, right? But like, it just has so many videos of people, like, acting like there's the fucking police. Acting, like, trying to tell people what to do, asking questions, running their own investigations. There was this one video of a lady who, like, went into someone's home to confront them because I was using a leaf blower. Which, nigga, that shit was on an episode of SpongeBob, I think. The fucking leaf blower short. It literally reaching to like cartoonish levels, bro. I do not know where people get our level of confidence from. Especially in America, where niggas could shoot you for going into the house. And a large portion of the population have firearms. I mean, the level of bravery is unprecedented, bro. I guess some string, maybe I could make a boat, something. Is anybody in chat buying GTA 6? Is anybody, you want to wait for a sale? Is anybody interested in playing? Me personally, I just can't buy it. I can't do it. $100 too steep. And quite frankly, and I could be wrong on this. I could be wrong. I cannot foresee them doing anything majorly different from GTA 5 for me to feel like, you know what, I need this game. Said no. Yeah, I think that's like my biggest issue. My biggest issue is I don't think they'll do anything groundbreaking enough to justify like picking it up. Even on a sale. I would have to see some very fresh, very new things once the game comes out and some people doing reviews and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know, babe. I don't know, GTA 6 might not do it for me. You know what game I'm kind of interested in and I haven't picked it up yet is the Avatar fighting game. I feel like, I don't know, my thing with fighting games is I feel like they die so quickly, bro. They die so quickly that I'm always like hesitant to pick one up because I don't want to buy a game and then in a couple months it fucking dead. Save, you know, for like a couple ultra sweats who will never stop playing the game. Marvel Token also looks very fun, but from what I've heard, the optimization is terrible on PC, and my laptop already on its last legs. I feel like I definitely shouldn't even bother trying to pick that bitch up. Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero beyond dead at this point. And niggas was swearing that was going to be game of the year. Bro, I cannot find a good start on mine. Another dead end. Yeah, really, I want to find a proper mine so I could try and find like another diamond, you know? And some steel of... I think I already have enough steel for a pickaxe. So really, I just need to find some diamond, you know? But did somebody like clip that when the witch killed me? Or like does anybody have the timestamp for that? That shit was funny as fuck. I forgot to note the timestamp for that one. Maybe I'll have to make my own mine, I guess. Did I try exploring in here? If in here deep enough, I could maybe try forming a mine there. I don't even think in here all that deep. Why this nigga doing fucking donuts, bro? That nigga in the Aston doing donuts, nigga. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Die. Why is he fucking doing that? I don't even think I can hit him. It is funny as fuck. Is this nigga holding that end that pearl? That nigga was holding that end up. What? Why? An enchanted copper helmet? Why did that nigga... That's why that nigga was doing donuts. That nigga was fucking stunting on me. That nigga was flexing. Oh, let me get out. I ain't gonna put this away. This is too good to lose. Bro, why is this nigga taking shots, bro? You saw the Spider-Verse leak trailer. I think I saw some of it. Is with alternate Morales and Uncle Aaron like interrogating regular Morales. I think I stumbled upon a clip of it like randomly. Also, fun fact, I have not seen any of the Spider-Verse films. I have not seen a single Spider-Verse film. And I am a Spider-Man fan. I don't know why. Oh wait, I had to make a new pickaxe, right? It's in mod clips, but don't watch on stream. I would. No, I'm trying to get away this call it, motherfucking, flag there. Shut this old bitch down, nigga. I feel it's so dumb to me that... Hold on, I think I had some... Did I have some copper in here? There's leather pants. I'll make some copper armor, fuck it. I have enough. It's so dumb that it made copper the same strength as stone. Just, you know, except that you could make iron with armor with it. You could make that shit a little stronger. How you just make the pants again? I think it's like one up here, right? And then... Yeah, there we go. Do we have any Spider-Verse fans in chat? I haven't seen it, but I mean, I know people love that shit. Is it normal to get a grass block? Doesn't all them blocks turn to dirt when you mine it? Am I tripping or... That seems unique. Yeah, so how we feel about Spider-Verse? Anybody's a big fan? Should I check it out? Those films itch my artist brain so well. Is it the animation or the art style or both? Make a pickaxe. I have seen clips of it. The animation and stuff does look very clean. Literally everything about them. Okay. I mean, I really should check it out sometime. I know they're very popular. Bro, can I find a proper mine, bro? Can I find somewhere to fucking dig? Ooh, nigga. Big motherfucker blocking the path. How about in here? Is that good? Ooh, it has steel in here? I didn't even realize. Hold on, let me calibrate that out. Thank you. Got more copper going. copper. Huh? There's a hell of copper in here. Hold on. We have a little coal in here too. Oh, but digging on that water blows, bro. Yeah, whatever. Bro, where's the mines? I yearn for the mines. Why is it raining so often in the game? Look at that iron in here too, wow. Hey, more iron. Oh no! Yo. Scared the fuck out of it. Man could have had his armor on. It might have hurt otherwise. I thought that was how bro I was going to turn up on that nigga. When I saw the purple, I thought it was that fucking witch, nigga. I started getting PTSD flashbacks. I was going to turn up on this nigga. But did anybody see that they update the up the requirements to get paid from YouTube? I think they increased the amount of like watch hours you're supposed to have before you could make partner, and I think you had to make like more views on your shorts before you could get like revenue sharing. Which, I mean, that kind of sucks. I mean, I was nowhere near like making partner or anything like anyways, but still, you know. Because I could imagine it had someone who was like right there, you know what I mean? Like just about to make it and like up the hours required. Also, what's up with these companies, bro? Why are they making it so much harder for the creators to earn? Because I feel like I already see a lot of people come, like they're saying in order to get paid on YouTube, right? They need to do long form content. But I would argue these days, short form content is what paying like the most. Because it had all these people with the fucking zero attention span, right? I think shorts is what making the money these days. So I don't know why they're hassling people to... I mean, I understand why, right? Because the longer people stay on the website is the more money like YouTube earns, blah, 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 right? So if somebody watches your video for a long period of time, that means you're bringing value to the website. But if people have spent a bunch of time, yo, not around the house, and next to the crib, nigga. If people spending a lot of time watching shorts and they know that, I think if somebody is getting a ton of views on the shorts, that should be grounds for paying them. Because that should indicate to you that they are a creator with a lot of draw. I don't know, man. These companies getting too greedy, bro. I mean, every day they just get a little greedier, but you know what I mean. I mean, I even know I'm like, I'm doing the streaming for fun, but like the fact that Twitch won't push any ads for me. The fact that it becoming harder to get paid on YouTube. Like, if I had any aspirations of making a living as a content creator, the game, like, shattered as we speak, you know? They're getting destroyed as we speak, bro. I'm venturing a little far from home, but clearly you don't have any good mines nearby to the crib. See what this mountain talking about. It's a good pull too, though. But what do you think about that, chat? Oh, if anybody else in chat wanted to make like a living as a content creator, maybe how they feel about them, like constantly like upping the requirements and shit. Me personally, it's a little depressing. Got some copper there. Hopefully I don't get lost. Nah, I can still see the village from here. I still know where to go to like reach back home. This is a really nice. This would have been a really nice spot for the house too. This is actually a very nice biome. It giving Journey to the Center of the Earth vibes, you know. Hold on, will this be a good cave? It looks like a dead end. Yes, it is. This is actually a real nice location, though. I should have built a house here. You know what? Maybe at some point I will build a house here. What we think, chat? Does this look like a nice spot to build a house? Anything to satisfy the top 1%? Yeah. You know it sucks. You know it's genuinely depressing, bro. Vacation house away from the ex-wife, which honestly, I might have to. I might have to do it. See if I could juke getting shot here. I could not, bro. That nigga heard me. He said juke who? There's like rooted dirt in Minecraft now. What the fuck is rooted dirt? What does that do? Oh, is this a swamp? God, this is one hell of a drop. Ooh. Ooh, let me eat some steak, nigga. Ooh, let me get my iron back up, nigga. I'll definitely lose some blood from that fall. Hold on. Let me get my iron back up, yo. Let me not be hasty. Let me not be hasty. Even that do damage? Fuck. If I could find something cool in the swamp. I need to stop jumping. I need to stop jumping. Oh, some sugar cane. Very nice. I don't remember, but it's dirt, but slightly different. Alright, we'll look out for slightly different dirt then. We'll look out for slightly different dirt. There's also mud. Okay. Fun little waterfall. Even right here seems like a cool spot for a house because of this little waterfall. I'll definitely have to remember this spot to come back and build later. Cut to me 5 episodes later having built jack shit. I saw some iron. Where was it? Here it is. Right at the tippy top. What the? Damn! Hold on. Swim back up, nigga. People who never build shit complain the most. I mean, hey, probably, nigga. Did I just see more iron? Hold on. Maybe not. Are you telling me there's not one good mining system here? There is some iron. That's so... Is it worth it going for that iron? I feel like it's not worth the trouble to get a couple pieces of iron. Now I need to get on from here without dying horrifically. Hold on. Oh, by the way, bro, there was this game that was free on Steam a couple days ago, Moonlighter. That shit's so fucking fun. Just strip mine? Yeah, I think I have no choice at this point. I think I will have to. But yeah, it was free on Steam. Moonlighter is like a... It's like a roguelike dungeon crawler, except you have like a shop to manage with the stuff that you find in the dungeon. That shit is fun on a bun, bro. I've been playing it non-stop in my spare time. I think like they're supposed to be bringing out like a second one. Maybe that's why they made it free for a couple days just to, you know, build a little hype for it. Honestly, if like this keeps being as fun as it is and they release it for a reasonable price, I may have to pick up Moonlighter too. That shit was so fire, nigga. That shit's so fun to play. Could down here be good? How lava and shit. Here might actually be a decent spot to maybe do some strip mining. The issue is getting up and down from it safely. And it's not too far from the house. What we think, chat? Should we try and like make we wait like a safe way down here? Make a water elevator. I could do that. I don't have a bucket though. Do I want to waste iron on a bucket? That's the question. Hey, this Pokemon Jazz kinda smooth, low-key, bro. This Pokemon Jazz kinda smooth, bro. harvest some of these carrots and then plant back some. Fall of harvest. No, maybe I should wait till morning to do farming. Also, why am I'm hungry, bro? Yikers. You fuck out that. Yeah, damn! Is that Enderman? Get to the house, bro. Rip, nigga. There we go. All right. I need a new song. Let me put some of my stuff away, actually. Just in case I died on there. Is there a quick start button? I forget, bro. It was like this, right? Yeah, it was something like. No, you know what? I'm gonna take a stack of the cobblestone with me. Put the carrots away. Put you away. But you. I'll make some. Actually, no. Let me make some more torches first. Yeah, this will do. Maybe I'll make a new. Oh yeah, some more food. Perfect. I'll make a new sword just in case. Alright, turn the rest of you into some torches. Oh. Alright. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, let me see how about making my way down there. Hey, random sticks and saplings. Don't mind if I do. And where was the little cavern I was looking at? Did I forget where it was already? Bro, looking for a new job is depressing, bro. I just be looking on all the websites, son. I just look on like every website, bro. And you know what is be fucking mob, bro? When they have like an entry-level job and they want 5 years of experience. I've seen some entry-level jobs ask for 5 years of experience. That should be illegal. How the fuck is that entry level if I need 5 years of experience? I mean, I thank God I had the job I had like right now, but that shit not gonna last forever. You know what I mean? I need to upgrade eventually. It just disheartening going online, and like every job I either want like crazy qualifications or insane amount of experience. Sometimes a combination of both. That shit has hurt my chest, bro. I hate this. Okay. I saw one asking for a minimum of 10 years. I believe it was also entry level. That should be illegal. How the fuck is that entry level? In what universe is 10 years of experience entry level? That shit should genuinely be criminal, bro. The system is not for the people. But here's what I want to know, right? How are the companies functioning? How are at this rate? How are even companies functioning? No wonder they're always like, oh, nobody wants to work these days. Nobody can work if that's the requirements. They say like young people don't want to work anymore. How the fuck can we? How are we supposed to have 10 or 5 years of experience? It's fucking ludicrous, dog. It genuinely ludicrous. I think I will try the water elevator. Hopefully, it's worth the trouble, though. Where's down? Have I checked down here to see if it's good? Dead end, huh? You know, I will brighten it up still, though, just because it's kind of near to the base. Maybe it will stop some mobs from spawning. They're trying to build that system with infinite nepotism. But that, even that, bro, that has to have its limits. How many people do you know? You know what I mean? That's the thing what is getting me. How many people do you fucking know? You know what I think it is? Like, apart from all the conspiracy theory stuff, you know, we don't want to make people, like, what the fuck was that? Was that the fucking music? Hold on. What the fuck? Was that the fucking music? Who the fuck did that? Hold on. Oh, it was a raid. That shit scared the fuck out of me. That shit scared the fuck out of me. I had no idea what that was. I'd never heard that sound effect before. Yo, shout out to Rens13 for the raid, bro. I appreciate the raid. That shit scared the fuck out of me. Yo, I appreciate the raid, bro. I thought that was the background music. Oh, I really need to get a second monitor so I can see these notifications more clearly. Oh, let me make a bucket to like get into that area there. Got enough metal for that. We were talking about entry-level jobs. Yeah. The entry-level job. No, it getting really crazy, bro. It getting really crazy. I cannot find a job to save my... Well, again, I'm currently employed, yes. But a better job than this little bullshit job I'm working now, you know? Bro, that shit's scary. Bro, I'm still stuck on that raid, bro. Yo, Rins, are you still in here? What game were you playing? Is anybody from the raid still in here? I appreciate the raid, bro. I really appreciate that raid. Oh my god, bro, that shit had a twist. It was so loud too. That shit was so loud. They actually want 10 years of experience. Yeah, no. A lot of these entry level... I'm talking about entry level jobs where they prefer a master's degree, 5 years of experience. They want you to have a working knowledge of all sorts of stuff. These companies getting too big for the britches. And then will turn around and say young people don't want to work. Young people literally aren't getting the opportunity. I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. I want to work. Look at my, like, I know I'm on Twitch right now, you know, streaming or whatever. Nigga, I go to work just like everybody else. You know what I mean? This is like a hobby. This is like a side thing. This is just, what if it does take off? This is like that sort of thing is what I'm doing. I fully expect to have a regular job. I'm not trying to make it on Twitch alone. You know? So I can speak for myself, but I'm here to work. They just aren't really given the opportunities, bro. It's really criminal. It's really criminal. I understand exactly what you mean, though I'm learning programming. Yeah, dicey thing, bro. Even with that, even with programming, I just always see posts about people who, like, oh, I'm a software engineer, I'm a programmer, blah, 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 blah. And they're talking about how, like, companies pushing them to use AI to, like, increase the work speed. Which might sound convenient now, right? Until that same AI that you help train by using it to do your job gets you fired. Because now it's effective enough to work on its own. So even jobs like programming, like all those, like, tech jobs, a lot of them probably not going to be safe once enough time passes. That's the goal with all AI, yeah. The only thing holding them back right now is that it's simply not good enough yet. Like what happened with was it Ford? The Ford workers, I think it's sent down in the Discord. Where they fired the bunch of Ford workers and then had to rehire them because the AI couldn't cut it. Literally the only thing stopping them from, like, mass, like, firing people is the fact that AI literally can't get the job done just yet. Why do I keep losing where the cavern was? Why do I keep losing that shit? I don't know. The thing is, it have too many. Jeez, it's night already. I don't have a Enderman. I'm looking at the guys, bro. It had too many people who, like, willing to roll over and just accept that AI is the future, and it doesn't. And they keep saying that. They keep saying, like, AI is inevitable. It go and do this, it go in and do that. That is literally a fucking psyop, bro. They're literally trying to condition people to feel like the only choice they will have is AI. Like, they have to embrace it. We don't have to embrace it. And the thing is, AI don't even have to be bad. Just like anything else, though, it comes down to the human element. That is what the issue is. AI could be a very good thing. It just won't be used for good reasons. Because humans just can't help themselves. Why is the Enderman still there? Oh, my Wi-Fi messing up on my phone. That's why I can't see chat right now. I was wondering what was going on. Hold on. If you type something in chat, give me a second. There we go. If you typed anything in chat in the last minute or so, retype it. I mean, Elon and a couple of our top 1%ers said they want universal basic income. And if that doesn't scream controlled populace to you, then I don't know what to say to you. AI can't create for shit and genuinely ruins its own training data by filling up on its own nonsense. Yeah, but I mean, if they keep pouring the amount of money into it that they are right now, and people keep using it to the extent they are now, eventually it go and improve. Right? Then the whole thing with AI, it learns, it grows, whatever. They can keep improving on it. Also, it's so funny to me, this, like... Because I don't know about you, I think universal basic income should already be a thing. That's a fucking random laugh at it. universal basic income should already be a thing, bro. I think we getting to a point where like the poverty out of control. The economy will collapse. Are you saying that with AI or with universal basic income? AI, yeah. But I mean, here's it. Will it though? Will it though? Because the people who controlling AI controlling the. Fuck, damn it! I fell. Oh, I have enough stuff to build out here. Right, hold on. Universal income will be abused to high hell. I don't think. Here's what I think, right? To me, universal basic income should be something that makes it so that it should be supplementary. It should be enough that it could live with like bare essentials, and then anything after that you have to earn. I think that could work. Because yeah, okay, it have people who don't want to work, right? Who will be comfortable with whatever the universal basic income is. But I would argue those people already have a scam going. Those people already taking advantage of disability or unemployment or wherever the fuck they're taking advantage of now, right? And when I say taking advantage of, I mean people who can work, who not really disabled, and they just wanna fucking not work. You know what I'm saying? That's the top AI companies aren't making money, they're losing money and genuinely can't physically make the infrastructure to replace everyone. Right, the company is not making money, but the people who already invest so much into it and who have a vested interest in seeing it like come to fruition, they're the ones who backing it. Right, those billionaires, the Elon Musks, the whoever, right? The people who already, because I know ChatGPT like operating at a loss since its inception, but the people who back in it, the people who have a vested interest in it, they're the ones who can and will continue to keep it afloat. Not to mention, when you see like in a lot of places, big companies like Amazon just began like major tax breaks and whatever, tax exemptions and all of that. Between tax breaks and like backing from like wealthy benefactors, they could keep this up for a really long time. As for, I think universal basic income, I think can be a good thing. Again, make it like bare minimum to supplement people income, and then you're not going to have no problem filling jobs. Because I would argue the big issue for people with doing jobs is not just the work in of itself, is the work for the money. If they already gain like a lot of the basic necessities covered, right? And then, you know, they're working for just gravy, right? That would have money would be gravy. I think a lot of people a lot more people would go to work. And it would help with the poverty issue in the world. I think universal basic income should definitely be explored. Because if we could do tax breaks for like major companies, and again, yes, I get the bringing, you know, value to the economy, I understand why, right? But if it's possible to do tax breaks for major companies, why not give people a little allowance to supplement the earnings in a time where wages are heavily stagnant, right? In a time where inflation through the roof, people need a little something. My issue with UBI is if they take away money from people for criticizing the people in charge. Right, of course. Right? But let me get the system rolling and then figure out how to regulate it. You know what I mean? Because right now, they're taking with tax dollars, right? People working hard, they're not making enough, they're taking with taxes, and they're using it for wherever the fuck already. So it can't hurt to get the system rolling, right? Because the way it should be funded is from taxing, you know, people who have an overabundance of a resource. So there's exactly the same method AI is being trained right now. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? guess I could maybe do some strip mining here. Although, I mean, it's already deep. So, you know, I could just start digging in that direction, you know? Alright. Well, I'll start here, I guess. They're scrapping mass amounts of media from the internet before the law can catch up, so they're trying to set up a system. Yeah. But that's the problem with, like, unregulated, like, big business. In this instance, right? Everybody, okay, like we could look at America, for instance, right? Everybody have a social security number, right? Everybody's supposed to only have one. If the money for UBI getting taken as like taxing like the rich, right? The wealthy, big companies, wherever, right? If we doing that, all you have to do is have a system where people apply for it using the social security number, and then the money is sent to wherever bank account they choose to set up their profile with. I'm saying profile, I'm just as a spitballing here, right? And if you don't receive your money because you criticize someone, it should be very easy to file a complaint and say, I'm supposed to get X amount of money this month, I didn't receive it, rectify the issue. Let's see, Danger Noodle redeemed, watch a 30-minute video during Reacts. I will watch that one today then. I mean, we could probably even take a little break from Minecraft to watch it, honestly. Because we've been on the craft for like, wow, 1.5 now. Hold on, let me nigga dub. Let me fucking go. Oh, this water pushing my back, son. All right. Where's Bad Gamer? I don't know. I figured he was lurking. Bad Gamer ain't chat. The man's gooning. I don't know. Maybe. Could be. I think I dicking the on right now. Why he have to be gooning? I don't know. That's what the Angel said. I don't know what he doing. It was just a suggestion. Maybe he not. Who knows? Just say it might be a possibility. By the way, Kingdom Hearts 4 got announced today for 2027. Oh. Okay. But did they say when? And did they say when it was going, like when in 2027? Is it like early, mid, late? What we looking at? I mean, that's not too bad though. For a popular game like Kingdom Hearts. Alright, hold on. Let me watch that. Let me do that reacts. Mod clips. This video here? Alright. Alright, we're moving into our little reacts. To what? Whoa. This is 36. This is 36 minutes. You know, just because it's you, Danger Noodle, I'll let it slide this time. Nigga. Alright, go and watch the AI data center boom doesn't survive basic physics. Actually, before we do that, I think the pre-rolls back on. And I want to take a quick bathroom break. So I want to run 3 minutes of ads. Then we go and come back and watch. We react to this video. All right. Everybody stretch the legs, get a sip of water, go to the bathroom, and run in 3 minutes ads. All right. All right. Don't touch that dial. All right, I hope everybody stretched the legs, went to the bathroom, took a little bathroom break, nigga, you know what I mean? Got a little water, nigga, you know what I mean? Because we back. We have a 30 minutes react. And I'm gonna kill the music. Or before we get to the react, though, just for any Kingdom Hearts fans, nigga, the Kingdom Hearts Integrum Masterpiece, nigga, 70% off, 30 USD. Again, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 remix, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final chapter prologue, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind DLC, nigga. Any Kingdom Hearts fans in chat? This is it. This is the deal for you, bro. Alright, let me get active. I can close this off, man.
Not survive basic physics. This is what society has come to. The AI data center.
Well, you know what? Let me be professional. Just in case I want to upload this reaction by itself to YouTube. Alright. Want to react to the AI data center boom does not survive basic physics by Javon Een. Let's get started.
The AI data center boom does not survive basic physics. This is what society has come to. A Shark Tank billionaire just convinced a small county in Utah to unanimously approve a 9 gigawatt AI data center, larger than the entire electricity demand of the state, by telling them the Chinese will beat us if we do not build it. Before the vote, there was no public environmental impact analysis, there was no independent engineering review, there was no completed water plan.
Who would want us to stop building our electrical grid? Who would want to stop us from having compute capacity to develop AI?
You said China. Yeah, bro, that shit's so fucking fun. The things that is like get people riled up is funny as fuck. To be like, if we don't do, China will do it. What about the Russians? Well, you know what I mean? These niggas just get riled up for the dumbest shit, bro.
Would want that. There's only one. It's China.
Kevin calls it Wonder Valley and describes it as the biggest project in Utah since the Transcontinental Railroad. But inside the approval room, the mood was not celebration. Hundreds of residents shouted shame, cowards, and people over profits as the data center was getting approved.
All of this is false. Then why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let us ask questions? It's false. This is not real information.
This is the part that matters. That was not a quiet little disagreement. It was practically a public revolt against a project whose numbers has not survived independent review. Nonetheless, the problem with this is the data center reality that Kevin O'Leary is selling and much of the AI industry is now betting on does not survive basic physics. If you guys don't know me, my name is Jovan. I'm an optoelectronics engineer. I have a master's degree in engineering, and I'm a researcher that
I didn't bringing all the credentials. I didn't know what you're talking about. All right.
Studies optics, photonics, and microelectronics. And I just want to give some insight on what's going on. What's being pitched right now, not just by Kevin, but by every hyperscaler in the country, is delusional on a scale that most people do not quite understand. The physics doesn't survive the timeline that's being sold to us. The chips don't exist in the quantity the build out requires. The financing is going in circles, and the moat that justifies the whole $1 trillion spend just got blown up by a Chinese company charging 8 times less for the same exact thing. The strange part is that the people running the build outs, the CEOs whose stock prices depend on it continuing, have already started quietly admitting most of that on record. And I'm going to show you what I found when I checked out what's going on. Before the project was approved, the developer didn't commission a public environmental impact analysis, as I said previously. There was no independent engineering review on the table. The commissioners voted to approve a 9 gigawatt facility across 40,000 acres without one.
This won't be the last one I build.
May I ask, 2,000 jobs, okay, so relative to the size, the physical size of the project, which as you noted is multiple times the size of Manhattan, and the power draw at peak, this data center, your projections, will consume about as much energy as New York City does, but New York City provides almost 5 million jobs.
That is, like, that thing with us, I mean, alright. Because as much as I'm against it and stuff like that, I'm not even fully educated on it. I didn't even, like, at the beginning of this video, I hadn't even imagined that's how much power these things draw. I could understand to an extent too why people who like don't have their ear to the ground with it, maybe not get like understand the severity of it, because I didn't even know that. I didn't even like conceptualize that like that's the amount of power I draw in. It really is like when they start like throwing those like hard figures at you, I think that is when you just really start to understand just how detrimental these data centers are. Because I hadn't even imagined it would be that serious. And I'm fully like staunchly against it.
And this project, by your own description, would provide about 2,000 jobs.
So a physicist at Utah State did the work himself. His name is Dr. Robert Davies. He spent 20 years at the USU Space Dynamics Lab with a stint as a technical liaison for the Internal Space Station. He is not an activist. He is a working atmospheric physicist with a NASA resume. He pulled the publicly disclosed numbers straight out of the developer's own filings and ran them. So 3 numbers came out of the filing. The data center itself is rated at 9 gigawatts of compute load. The power is generated on site by a natural gas plant, and a modern combined cycle natural gas plant runs at roughly 55% thermal efficiency, which means for every watt of usable electricity it produces, it also produces about a watt of waste heat, which gets vented as exhaust. Those 3 numbers are not contested by anyone, not even the developer of the project. So Professor Davies started with a very basic principle of thermodynamics. Every watt of electricity that goes into the data center eventually has to leave as heat, because that is what computation does at the physical level. So just a compute by itself dumps 9 gigawatts of heat into the valley. Then layer in the gas plant. To produce 9 gigawatts of electricity at a 55% efficiency rate, the plant has to burn enough natural gas to release roughly 16.4 gigawatts of total thermal energy. The 9 gigawatts becomes electricity. The remaining 7.4 gigawatts vents into the valley as waste heat. Add the compute heat and the plant waste heat together, and you get a total thermal load of about 16 gigawatts.
So now I've never really been much of a science sort of guy, but if I'm understanding this correctly, they're generating almost twice as much waste as the like in comparison to the amount of energy they're using.
Dumped
Oh yeah, we are
continuously
Raven in chat. Yo, what's up,
every day
Raven?
for the 30-year operational life of the facility into one closed desert valley. To put things into perspective, the Hiroshima bomb released about 6.3 times 10 to the 13th joules of energy per day. If you were to divide the 2 numbers, that means the AI data center is releasing about 22 to 23 times the amount of energy as the Hiroshima bomb. This is not a random set of numbers. This is the reality that Utah is facing. Translated, what that means for the area around Wonder Valley is that for every single day for about 30 years, the facility will release into the valley a quantity of heat energy equivalent to 23 Hiroshima yield atomic bombs. Professor Davies published.
Hold on. I had to pull that one back. Hold on. I feel like I didn't appreciate that one enough. Hold on.
Of the facility into one closed desert valley. To put things into perspective, the Hiroshima bomb released about 6.3 times 10 to the 13th joules of energy per day. If you were to divide the 2 numbers, that means the AI data center is releasing about 22 to 23 times the amount of energy as the Hiroshima bomb. This is not a random set of numbers. This is the reality that Utah is facing. Translated, what that means for the area around Wonder Valley is that for every single day for about 30 years, the facility will release into the valley a quantity of heat energy equivalent to 23 Hiroshima yield atomic bombs. Professor Davies published the analysis through a Utah water conversion nonprofit called Grow the Flow. The Salt Lake Tribune covered it.
This nigga looks like he know what he talking. Hold on.
Davies.
Tell me this nigga don't look like the fucking scientist at the start of the movie being like,
Professor Davies.
General Stanford, we can't do this. The environmental effects will be, you know what I'm talking about? The fucking scientist that is like, no, at the start of every fucking movie. I could just see this nigga like slumping into his chair, like ruffling. You hear like, "You madman, you actually did it." He looks like the type of nigga who'll tell you not to do some shit right before the apocalypse start.
Published the analysis through a Utah water conversion nonprofit called Grow the Flow. The Salt Lake Tribune covered it also. Professor Davies, in his published analysis, said this direct quote: "This is the energy output of 2.5 New York cities, poured into a single confined desert basin in a watershed that's already in crisis." But what does dumping that much thermal load into a closed desert valley actually do? Professor Davies ran it. Daytime temperatures in the local area will go up 2 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Nighttime temperatures will go up 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit. A permanent shift, meaning over the sustained period that the data center exists, these temperature rises will also exist. This means a reclassification of the microclimate will happen. Ben Abbott, an ecology professor at BYU, reviewed the work independently and said this will absolutely change the landscape of the area and can also push the local environment outside of the desert into a desert equivalent weather.
These niggas literally terraforming shit, trying to use it. Because AI doesn't affect the environment. Yeah, no, definitely not. Like the terraforming the environment.
Now, let's address the water claim. The developers team told the commission that Wonder Valley would use less water than ranching, with closed-looped cooling. The file number for phase 1 was about 24 acre-feet of water for about a 3 gigawatt facility. Professor Davies also ran his numbers about a 3 gigawatt facility.
I could just see this nigga like taking off his glasses and throwing it, like in frustration as they ignore all the science he's showing them, bro.
Professor Davies also ran his numbers against this water claim, and he ran it against the most efficient natural gas plant on Earth, which is located in Astoria, New York. His finding was this: 24 acre-feet for a 3 gigawatt facility is 97% more
They are ignoring all the science he's showing them.
efficient
They
than
really are.
the global state-of-the-art, which is a polite way of saying the developer's numbers doesn't exist in known physics. To actually cool 16 gigawatts of thermal...
I'm sure they aren't ignoring the science. They're just using it to their benefit. So he's like, if this continues, then by 2028, you'll have no water left. You'll be like, so you're saying by 2028, we need to make sure and stock up on a bunch of bottled water. Good. Don't tell the pause that, though. That is what they're doing.
Load in a desert. Professor Davies estimated you need hundreds of acres of industrial dry cooling infrastructure. The cheaper alternative is to pipe the waste heat into the underground aquifer, which has, in his words, extreme, unknown ecological consequences, meaning there's no accurate way to cool this data center. And the numbers that the developers have shown are physically improbable. Nearly 2,300 Utah residents filed formal protests against the water rights application.
So now even your aquifers are safe, nigga. I didn't even know I had an aquifer.
The application. Whatever water plant is currently being marketed is not the one that was filed. And in Kevin O'Leary's television appearances, he repeatedly claimed that Wonder Valley will be powered partly by, quote, solar, wind, and batteries.
That nigga's lying. If there's one thing these niggas don't do is renewable energy sources. That nigga lying. That nigga fucking lying.
Development agreement filed with the state on record says 100% natural gas drawn through the Ruby pipeline from Wyoming. Both of these statements cannot be accurate. The commissioners voted anyway. Everything Professor Davies found out about Wonder Valley scales. Physics does not care what county you're in. So before I leave Utah, I want you to understand the size of what's being built nationally. The big 5 hyperscalers, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, Meta, and Oracle, are spending between $660 to $690 billion on capital expenditure in 2026 alone. Roughly $450 billion of that is AI infrastructure specifically. Servers, GPUs, networking, and cooling. Meta alone is now spending 54% of revenue on CapEx. Microsoft, 47%. Google, 46%. A normal software company runs at about 8%. These companies are spending like utilities now, not software companies. They have the same revenue base, but they have different spending DNA. Stack on top of that Stargate with a $500 billion target.
Damn.
Wonder Valley with another $100 billion target. Meta's Hyperion, roughly
Bro,
1.5 trillion.
This is the type of shit. This is the type of shit what as fuck, man. Up to where they're like, if we don't have the money to end homelessness. We don't have the money to give our employees a raise. We don't have the money for it. These niggas doing $1.5 trillion on some shit most people fucking hate. It have people who literally starving to death on the streets, but they want to spend $1.5 trillion on some shit nobody fucking like, nigga. Or the vast majority of people with common sense don't fucking like, nigga. If that doesn't let you know that people evil, I don't know what will. I couldn't imagine having $1.5 trillion to throw around and then seeing a homeless nigga starving to death, he leg infected because he can't go to the fucking hospital, wherever, and then just spending that shit on fucking AI, on artificial intelligence, when we have real intelligent beings walking around, nigga, who need the help. If this doesn't show you that people evil, I don't know what will.
$1 trillion of infrastructure to be built, financed, and paid back inside of 5 years. For comparison, the Apollo program cost about $260 billion in today's dollars over a decade. The interstate highway system that we all drive on cost about $600 billion in today's dollars over 40 years. The entire 1990s fiber build-out cost about $500 billion across a decade. The AI build-out is roughly all of that every year on one single industry. Now, apply the Wonder Valley problem industry-wide. Every one of those projects needs power. Most of them are going to natural gas because the grid can't connect them in time, so they need turbines. Wood Mackenzie tracks the global market for combined cycle gas turbines. Their finding was this: lead times went from 3.5 years in 2023 to 5 to 7 years 2 years later in 2025. Order books for new turbines are closed until 2028, with delivery 6 years after that. Prices are projected to be up 195% by the end of 2026 compared to 2019. Global manufacturing capacity for these turbines is about 30 gigawatts per year. The current backlog of orders is about 8 gigawatts. CleanView tracked 46 data centers in the United States alone. 56 gigawatts of nameplate capacity total. All of them are planning their own on-site power generation because they can't wait for the grid. Their workaround for the turbine shortage, and I am not exaggerating, includes mobile gas generators strapped to semi-trucks and turbines repurposed from cruise ships and aircraft. This is basically...
And here's what the question is to really ask. Why? So I was thinking about this shit the other day, right? Aren't we at a point, and I'm not against advancement, but aren't we at a point where like society and technology have advanced to the point where we don't need to rush it? So what the fuck are we working towards anymore, nigga? Flying cars, bitch, or they want to be the fucking Jetsons? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck we even doing at this point? You said they need to beat China. No, of course we had to beat China. I'm just saying though, maybe China should slow down too. We need to beat China. You know what? I wasn't hearing it the first time, but now that I said it a second time, now I get it. We need to fuck up the environment before China wins in the AI race. Now I get it. We don't want Xi Jinping to have better ChatGPT than us. Now why would we want that? You know what, you're right. Blow the whole planet up doing this AI if we need to. The only amount of money that should be taken away from building AI is the money that we have absolutely a righteous duty to send to Israel. That's the only two things that we need to be spending money on, is AI data centers and Israel. And yes, I know I'm not from America, but I'm still supporting the most persecuted group of people in history, the Israelis. Let's watch the video.
The state of the art of data centers in 2026. Then there's the chips. Modern AI accelerators are not single chips. They are logic die bonded to a high bandwidth memory stacked on top of silicon interposers. The bonding process is called CoWoS. That's CoWoS. The only company that does that at scale is a company called TSMC.
As long as we China, nothing else matters. Don't forget Israel.
Every major player in the chain confirmed the same thing from these earning calls. TSMC said CoWoS capacity is sold out through 2025 and into 2026. Hynix said the same thing about HBM, which is sold out for 2026. Nvidia said the assembly capacity is oversubscribed through at least mid-2026, which is about now. The top 4 companies, Nvidia, AMD, and Google, have locked in over 85% of TSMC's CoWoS capacity for 2026. In HBM, the high bandwidth memory uses about 3 times the wafer fab capacity per wafer compared to the standard DDR5. So in simple terms, producing more of one means producing less of another. Demand for HBM, high bandwidth memory, is growing to 80 to 100% year over year. Supply is growing 50 to 60%. New HBM fabs take a minimum of 18 to 24 months to come online. Most new capacity won't even land until 2027 or 2028. Then there's the rebuild cycle that no one priced in. These facilities are not pyramids. They get gutted and rebuilt every few years if you didn't know. Nvidia ships a new chip generation every 12 to 18 months. Each generation burns more power than the last generation.
Translation, fuck you, nigga. You can't build a new PC. Go suck a dick.
Blackwell, one of their chips, is around 1200 watts per chip. The next generation Rubin is projected to be about 2000 watts per chip. As power density per rack jumps from 30 kilowatts to 130 to 250, the cooling architecture has to change with it. Air cooling fails, then liquid cooling, then direct-to-chip cold plates. Each transition of chips is a tear out and rebuild of the entire mechanical plant, which is a construction project, not necessarily a software patch you can fix with an update. Bank of America did a breakdown of where the money and the data center build out actually goes. About 2.5% goes to local construction, 75% goes to servers and networking manufactured in California. About 75% goes to servers and networking manufactured in California, Taiwan, and Korea. The rest is just power equipment also made elsewhere. And that 75% of the money gets replaced and ripped out every 3 to 5 years. The dollar that comes into community as construction wages once doesn't come back in its totality. The dollar that buys servers goes back to Nvidia, TSMC, and SK Hynix on a 3-year cycle though. The hyperscalers, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, Oracle, and Microsoft cannot agree amongst themselves on how long any of this hardware actually lasts. Amazon shortened its server depreciation schedule from 6 years to 5 years in February 2025, citing the increased pace of AI development, and took a $700 million hit of operating income just to do that. Meta, in the same exact year, extended its depreciation to 5.5 years and booked a $2.9 billion reduction in depreciation expenses. And these are the same conditions, and this happened in the same exact year. And they made opposite accounting calls. This is not a product of engineering. This is more so an earnings management by these two companies. And they came out to different answers at the end. I want you to look at what the people who are running the build out have said on record. In August of 2025, Sam Altman, the CEO...
An alleged rapist, by the way. An alleged child molester, by the way. Have we heard about this? Have we seen this? Just to, let's just add a little context to the video. I don't want to interrupt your request, Danger. No, let's just put... Why do I have caps on? Hold on. Pull this up. The claims Annie Altman, his sister, filed a federal lawsuit in Missouri alleging that Sam Altman sexually abused, molested, and assaulted her for a period spanning from 1997 to 2006, starting when she was a child. Alleged child molester, by the way. Just so we know. Just so we know. Speaking of weird, as we on the topic of child molesters and AI, I believe it was Elon Musk. All right. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, since we're talking about child molesters and AI, Elon Musk AI company is suing to block a new Minnesota law against certain. This nigga. Hold on, where was it? Right. Minnesota has banned AI that lets users depict real people as naked in fake photos or videos without their permission. So let's just say a pedophile gets their hands on this. Let's just say a pedophile gets their hand on this and then gets their hands on an Instagram profile of a parent taking pictures with or of their child. Let's just use our imagination and see what would happen with when those two things combine. Huh? What do we think happens? Why wouldn't he just make it so that his AI can't fucking do that? Free speech. If a child molester wants it, they'll Photoshop it. It should not be an option to use AI to generate naked photos of anybody, far less from a child. Why would that even be an option? Why would we make it easier for them? Because he makes money. This nigga's can't he make money just not from pedophile, or not from people? Let me just say people. Let me even go fully to the pedophile thing. Why would you want your AI to be able to do that? He wants all the money, clearly. But I mean, have some fucking decency, man. Also, I want to talk about that specific. I believe it was it Congress people? Hold on. You know what? Oh, was it? Pull this one up. Here we go. Right. 17 Colorado Republicans voted against banning sexually explicit AI content of kids. Now, they're saying that this distorts the truth, so maybe it isn't true. Nigga, huh? No, maybe next time, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. Let me see. Some Colorado Republicans voted against the passage of a law that banned producing sexually explicit digital depictions of real-life children. What's false? 13 of them, not 17. Thank God. See how it has Google AI overview, but it doesn't pop up in the search bar? Yep. All of that, nigga. It was 13, not 17, voted against the Colorado law, which still passed with broad bipartisan support. 30, bro. If I was in Colorado, I would be burning them niggas to the fucking ground. What do you mean? What do you mean why? Ask yourself, why would they vote? Either they are pedophiles themselves, or some pedophiles have them in the fucking pockets, nigga. That's the only two options. That is the only two options. So just to show you the link between pedophiles and AI, I mean, there you go. There you go. But yeah, Sam Altman. Now I have to say allegedly, because that nigga, he ain't get charged with it yet. But I don't know. And Congress voted against revealing their own sexual assault case. Of course they were. Who thought? That's the funniest thing about like shit like that. Was like, no, they'll regulate it. Why would people regulate themselves? Why would they ever tell on themselves? Of course they voted against that shit.
CEO of OpenAI said this when he was comparing the AI bubble to the .com bubble. When bubbles happen, Smart people get overexcited about
But they can't
eternal
they can't
truth.
regulate
Are we
us
in a phase
exactly.
where investors as a whole are overexcited about AI? My opinion is yes. Jeff Bezos at Italian Tech Week in October 2025 said, "This is kind of an industrial bubble." David Solomon, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, on a stage at the same conference the same day, said, "There will be a lot of capital that's deployed that will turn out to not deliver returns. And when that happens, people will not feel
Hold
good."
on. There will be a lot of capital that's deployed that will turn out not to return. This is if bro, they only care when it's money. People won't, they only have empathy when it comes to money. It was like, oh yeah, man, it will really make people feel upset when the capital don't make returns. God forbid people feel upset with all the noise pollution, the water in the pipes being fucked up, and the electrical grid being fucked up. They can't even fathom that. But when the money won't be returned, that's what they can understand.
And even the head of Google DeepMind, Demis Hassabis, said the
Don't
current
forget the heat
investment
and the
environment,
heat.
quote, "seed roundings reaching tens of billions of dollars with just nothing." And finally, April 28th, 2026, the Wall Street Journal broke the story that should have ended the conversation. OpenAI missed its own internal monthly sale targets, missed its goals by 1 billion ChatGPT weekly active users by the end of 2025. And the part that matters the most, OpenAI's chief financial officer, Sarah Frier, is privately at odds with Sam Altman. And the part that matters the most, OpenAI's chief financial advisor, Sarah Frier, is privately at odds with Sam Altman over whether the revenue can possibly support more than $1.4 trillion in AI infrastructure commitments that OpenAI has signed to building. And remember, Frier is not a junior executive at OpenAI. Frier was the CFO at Square and the CEO at Nextdoor before she joined OpenAI. According to Day Reporting, Frier also told colleagues she doesn't believe the company can support its commitments at the current burn rate and has urged Altman to slow down the new pace of infrastructure deals, which makes sense. CEOs admitting their failures on camera is one thing, but you might reasonably say these guys all have a stock price at stake and their admissions are hedged, and you don't trust them either way, whether they're telling the truth or not. And that's a fair analysis. So let me show you what the people with no stock price at stake have published. I'm going to show 3 studies, each one a different leg of the same problem, each one from an institution with no horse in the race. First study, Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. This is the U.S. National Laboratory the Department of Energy uses to estimate national energy consumption. Congress passed the Energy Act of 2020, specifically requiring the DOE to publish an updated assessment of data center energy use, and Berkeley Lab is the team that wrote it. They have produced this report for Congress every few years since the early 2000s. There is no more authoritative source on this question in the country. According to the Berkeley Lab, data centers use 4.4% of all U.S. electricity in 2023. They project that will hit between 6.7 and 12% by 2028. This is tripling in 5 years total. To translate that for anyone whose eyes glaze over percentages, the high end of that range is the amount of electricity used by the entire country of Japan, dropped onto the US grid just for data centers, just for AI. In this same report on about page 11, the authors quote an important caveat about their own methodology. Quote says this: "Historical utility demand forecasts consistently overestimate both peak and average demand." What does this mean? The federal lab that the US government uses to forecast data center energy demand is telling Congress in writing that historical demand forecasts on this kind of question tend to be too high. Not sometimes too high, but consistently too high. This is a federal energy lab telling you in their own published methodology to assume the bull case is overshooting. And that is before you layer in any supply chain bottlenecks that I walked you through earlier. The second study being reviewed is by MIT. The team is called Project NANDA, which stands for Networked Agents in Decentralized Architecture. The study is titled The Gen AI Divide, State of AI Business in 2025. Their headline finding was this: after $30 to $40 billion of enterprise spending on generative AI tools, 95% of organizations have seen no measurable return on investment. Only 5% are getting real revenue back. Page after page of the report breaks down why this is happening, which industries are working and which ones are not, what separates the 5% from the 95%, but the headline number is the one that matters most for this specific video. Let me translate why that number matters for the AI data center build out specific. The whole $1.5 trillion capital expenditure plan is sized for an assumption that AI demand from enterprise customers will keep growing fast enough to fill all these new facilities at a premium price.
95% not getting a return on investment. Yeah, I mean, at this point, they know what they're doing, bro. They're investing to be in on it early, and they're hoping that in the future the returns will outweigh, what is spent on it. It's like insane gamble, if you ask me, though.
That is the demand curve the financing is built on. This is what OpenAI's commitments to Oracle and Microsoft and Nvidia all assume. MIT's measure finding is that the enterprise demand the build out is sized for is failing to show up in profit and loss for the companies who are paying for these tools. Not in just a few cases, in 95% of the use cases. If that number even stays close to where it's currently at, where MIT currently has it, the customer pipeline that's supposed to fill these data centers does not exist at the scale it's being written for. The third study, this one is peer-reviewed academic work from UC Riverside and Caltech, published in Communications of the ACM, which is one of the most respected venues in the entirety of computer science. The earlier paper was titled Making AI Less Thirsty. The follow-up is called Small Bottle, Big Pipe. Peer review took 7 months. The methodology section in these papers walked through every assumption that they made. Their finding was this: US data centers will need somewhere between 697 million and 1.45 billion new gallons of water per day by 2030. To put this into scale, the entire city of New York uses about 1,000 million gallons of water per day. So the AI data center build out will require new water capacity equivalent to roughly one entire New York City by the end of this decade. So we have about a few years. And the kicker is that the cost just to build the water infrastructure for the demand is between $10 and $58 billion. And that's before you ask the harder question, which is whether the water itself even physically exists. Wren said, this is the UC Riverside statement on paper, quote, "Even if you have the money, the water source is another challenge. You may have money to build treatment plants and pipes, but money can't buy more snowpack." This is a peer-reviewed academic researcher describing the same exact physical wall that Dr. Davies identified at Wonder Valley. Wonder Valley is not a one-off situation. It is the local instance of a national pattern that has already been documented in peer-reviewed research. And these are not the only 3 studies available. There are several more that point in the same direction. The Brookings Institution published a study, 770 US data centers across 93 countries, showing that the industry job creation claims are overstated by roughly 3 times. The Pew Research Center and Carnegie Mellon University have published work showing residential electricity bills could rise 8% nationally by 2030 and up to 25% in Virginia, directly because of data center load. The International Energy Agency published a comprehensive report on AI and energy that comes broadly to the same conclusions as Berkeley Lab. Anthropic's own internal research team has published findings that AI labor displacement is far smaller than what the CEO has predicted publicly. All of these are linked in the description if you want to read them yourself. And these are not advocacy groups. These are the most rigorous research institutions in the country and in the world. The Department of Energy's National Research Lab, MIT, a peer-reviewed academic journal, Brookings, Pew, Carnegie Mellon, the International Energy Agency. The institutions don't agree on much in 2026, but they agree on this. The build-out at its current scale and timeline is sized for a future that the most careful published research available flat out does not support. and flat out refutes. There's an assumption baked into the entire build out that I want to unpack. The assumption is this, that if you build the data centers, the customers will fill them. History says that's not how it works. In 1998, Motorola spun out a project called Iridium. They launched 66 satellites into low Earth orbit to provide global satellite phone coverage.
Bro, remember the Motorola flip phone though? That shit used to be whatever happened to Motorola? Them still making phones? But them flip phones used to be it back in the day, bro.
Total capital deployed was about $5 billion. The constellation went live in November 1998. The engineering worked in that project. The phones worked in that project. The coverage was genuinely global, including the middle of the ocean and the South Pole. Iridium filed for bankruptcy in August of 1999, 9 months after they launched. The forecast has said millions of paying subscribers. At peak, they had about under 50,000. The satellites stayed in orbit because deorbiting them cost more than leaving them up. A year later, a post-bankruptcy investor group bought the entire constellation, 66 working satellites, and the ground network for $25 million, about 0.5% of what the original build-out had cost. About 0.5% of what the original build-out has cost. Iridium built the infrastructure, but the customers never came. The satellites are still up there. The original investors, however, are not. And the version of this in 2026 is worse, because Iridium satellites had a useful operating life of over 10 years. They could sit in orbit and wait for a buyer. An AI data center's primary asset, the GPU, has an engineering useful life of 2 to 3 years before the next generation makes it completely obsolete. If a data center fails the way Iridium did, the chips inside it aren't waiting around in orbit for a salvage buyer. There's scrap metal. They're not useful anymore. Now layer one more thing on top, and this is the reason customers might not come at the price the build out requires. In January 2025, a Chinese AI lab called DeepSeek released a free open source model called V3. It matched the performance of OpenAI's flagship at roughly a fraction of the cost, allegedly trained for under $6 million on chips that the US government has specifically restricted. The day the model went viral, Nvidia lost almost $600 billion in market capitalization, the single largest loss day for a company in US history. Then, DeepSeek released V4 in April 2026, $3.48 per million output tokens. This is the same task. Comparable performance on all the benchmarked exams that AI runs. Open source, you can download the weights and run the model on your own hardware. OpenAI charges $30 per million tokens for the equivalent. Anthropic charges $25. DeepSeek is roughly 8 times cheaper for the same work, and enterprises have noticed this. Multiple industry analysis say companies are cutting their AI operational costs by 85 to 95% by routing routine workloads through DeepSeek instead of paying US frontier prices. The $1 trillion AI build-out depends on one big assumption. Companies will keep paying premium prices for AI inference, but the premium is already breaking down. DeepSeek showed that a powerful model can be open source, downloadable, and far cheaper to run. That does not mean AI inference is dead. There is still real business in running and serving models, building agents, and integrating AI into specific industries. What it does mean is that simply owning the model is no longer a defensible moat. Google actually saw this coming in 2023. An internal memo titled, "We have no moat and neither does OpenAI," warned that open source models would eventually pressure the entire business model. That prediction is no longer theoretical. It happened. And the financing structure of the build out makes it worse, not better. Microsoft invested $11.6 billion in OpenAI. OpenAI then committed over $250 billion to Microsoft Azure for compute power, which Microsoft books as revenue. Nvidia issued a $100 billion letter of intent to OpenAI.
So, translation, the spending money in a circle trying to keep this thing afloat is what I'm understanding from this, at least. Spending money in a circle amongst themselves trying to keep the whole thing afloat.
Which deploys progressively as OpenAI buys NVIDIA chips. Money NVIDIA is investing in OpenAI recycles right back to Nvidia as chip purchases. Nvidia also owns 9 to 13% of an entity called CoreWeave and has a $6.3 billion contract to buy CoreWeave's unsold GPU capacity. CoreWeave borrows against the contract to buy more Nvidia GPUs. Same dollar, however, but is kind of running in circular patterns. Oracle has equity in Stargate. OpenAI has $300 billion in obligations to Oracle for Stargate capacity. To finance that, Oracle issued $18 billion in bonds in September 2025, including 40-year tranches maturing in 2065. The bonds will be outstanding for 35 years after the GPUs they're paying for have been scrapped, which is the kind of duration mismatch the credit market is supposed to notice immediately. It did. Oracle is tied directly into this build-out. It has equity in Stargate, and OpenAI has committed roughly $300 billion to Oracle for Stargate data center capacity. To help finance that expansion, Oracle issued $18 billion worth of bonds in September 2025, including a 40-year bond that does not mature until 2065. This creates an insane mismatch. Oracle is borrowing money for decades to finance infrastructure built around GPUs that may be obsolete in 3 to 5 years. In other words, the debt could still be sitting in Oracle's books after 35 years, after the hardware that it's helped pay for has been ripped out, replaced, or just flat out scrapped. And the credit market also noticed this. Oracle's 5-year credit default swap spread tripled in the second half of 2025. This is what circular AI financing looks like when the market starts pricing in risk. But here's where I want to land, because I'm not an image mirror of doomers. They're confident in the wrong direction, and I don't want to be confident in the other wrong direction. So let me draw the line clearly. AI is objectively real. Anthropic itself is at over $30 billion in annualized revenue. OpenAI is at $24 to $25 billion, and data center vacancy in core markets is 1.6%. This is showing that there's real money in this, there's real customers, and there's an objective real demand. What is delusional is the gap between the build out that is being financed today and the revenue trajectory that has to materialize for the financing to make sense. The gas turbines, the chips, the cooling, the construction, the permitting, and the local political consent all run on lead times that manufacturers themselves say cannot compress. The CEOs financing it are on record calling it a bubble. But I also want to give you the other side of this analysis. There are scenarios where this analysis does age badly, and I want to name them. Algorithmic efficiency could keep dropping at roughly 10 times per generation, in which case the build out is overspec'd rather than undersized. And the hardware ages into more useful output than I expect. You can also factor in photonic compute, which is my field, which can move research from early pilots into commercial development, which would change the entire thermal and power envelope of the industry. You can also factor in small modular nuclear reactors, which could deploy in serial production faster than being projected, which would loosen the grid bottleneck that I described. Enterprise adoption velocity could keep accelerating at the rates Anthropic has shown over the past year, meaning that the growth rate that they're having now, if that continues, this bottleneck could be solved. And any one of these instances would immediately change the picture. And any one of these can change the picture. None of them justify $1 trillion of debt-financed gas turbine plants committed in 2025 on the assumption that they'll arrive in time. What am I saying? All of these are technically possible, but they're improbable. They're improbable realities. I do, however, owe you all the honest other side. There are ways that this analysis that I went over could go badly, and let me name them clearly. There could be algorithmic efficiency that could keep improving fast enough that the same hardware produces far more useful output than expected. In that case, the build out will look overbuilt, not underbuilt. There could be photonic computing, which is my field, which can move research and early pilots into commercial deployment. That would change the industry's entire power and cooling profile. There could be small
Alright, so I think we get it. You know what I mean? It have a good chance it could fail, but also there's certain instances that could make it, a reality still. I think we had to cross our fingers and hope and just pray to God, bro, that them bitches fail. That was a very informative video, though. I think that's it for today's stream. I appreciate all your love and support. Appreciate everybody for coming through. I'm going to run like 3 minutes of ads to end the stream up. Feel free to watch them or leave, free country, whatever you want to do. But yeah. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, or whatever time it is when you're watching this. It has been your host with the most, Dioraza, and I am signing out. Bye.